Hello everyone, this is Meera Jaydevan with you, and I welcome you all to yet another Avas Kerala chapter meetup webinar session. The Avas Foundation is a global organization and it works to improve the security of software through its community led open source software projects, hundreds of chapters worldwide with tens of thousands of members, and also by hosting local and global conferences. Its Kerala chapter was founded in the mid of 2006 by a group of security professionals and enthusiasts. Our Kerala Meetups is organizing various webinar series on various topics that are beneficial for the cyber community and also for creating awareness on the security and safety among the common public, like webinars on the cloud security, social engineering, then online women's safety, etc. It also provides opportunities for the upcoming software communities to present their contribution to secure the application development. Today, we have the session on the virtual virus taken by Mrs. Greeshma M R. Mrs. Greeshma M R is an author and an entrepreneur, co-founder of Ecoloop 360. She has an educational background in the information technology and translation engineering. Her writings include technology, sustainable development, gender, and society. And she has co authored two books, The Infodemic and The Dark Web Demystified. You all know that the year 2020 is a time of online interaction, which was at its peak. As the Infomania for the COVID 19 shoot up, so did the misinformation. The crisis capitalization was also carried out using the social engineering strategies. Today's presentation will cover the phenomenon of infodemic, insights on its cause, impact, and this analysis. And also, before I hand over, we would love to hear from you. So please drop your queries in the comment section of the Facebook and YouTube channels. And Mrs. Greeshma will respond to your queries at the end of the session. So, Mrs. Greeshma, welcome to the Avas Kerala chapter meetup. The floor is all yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Meera. Thank you, Meera, for the introduction, and thank you, Avas, for having me here today. So, everyone, welcome to this session on the virtual virus of 2020. So, we are fighting this COVID-19 globally now, and it is a new experience to all of us. And it is the first pandemic in history in which technology as well as social media are being used on a massive scale to keep people safe, connected, productive, and informed. So, coronavirus is real in the physical world. And in this session, let's look at the associated virtual virus that it has created in the online space. So when I was searching for the term Infomania, searching for a quote on the term Infomania, I came across this poem. And I feel it is very relevant in today's context. It goes like this. Infomania, you screwed my concentration. You wheeled my attention. You machined my love. You reigned over my sleep. I underestimated you, little screen, but you made my world lean. And this was written by Louis Kay. I hope almost all of us can relate it to these lines. So that is Infomania. So which is the first section of this presentation. We are surrounded by information overload daily, right? And this problem of information noise has become so profound that people feel the urge to update themselves with the latest happenings in almost real time. They always want to feel connected to the information flow. Infomania, as Wikipedia defines it, is a debilitating state of information overload. Debilitating means it is a weakening state of information overload, which is caused by a combination of backlog of information to process and continuous interruptions from technologies like phones, instant messaging, email, etc. So compared to past decades, we are almost processing 3 times of information every time. So we already have a massive set of information to process, and then in between, we are interrupted continuously with the latest technologies and gadgets. So in Infomania, we experience an obsessive need to constantly check the information sources like social media, online news, emails, etc. So when we are unable to keep up with the information flow, we experience a fear. We experience FOMO, that is a fear of missing out. So we always want to remain up to date. The term infomania was actually first coined by Elizabeth M. Ferrarini, who was the author of the 2 books, namely Confessions of an Infomaniac, which was released in 1984, and Infomania, The Guide to Essential Electronic Services, which was released in 1985. So in these books were the first, Infomania term appeared first in these books. And this abundance of information has also resulted in something called continuous partial attention. So this is a byproduct of infomania, and this is common among adults and children alike. And this continuous partial attention means the process of paying simultaneous attention to many sources of incoming information, but at a superficial level. We are not going deeper into any source, but we are processing information only at a superficial level from multiple sources. And this problem is becoming more and more severe with the increase in information explosion. And moving on to the second section of this presentation, that is the infodemic. So as with the when the COVID-19 outbreak happened, WHO was leading all the efforts to slow the spread of this virus. But what we witnessed was, along with this global pandemic, we experienced a global epidemic of misinformation, which was spreading rapidly through social media and other outlets. This misinformation was causing serious problems to the public health works. Okay. So the Director General of WHO, that is Dr. Tedros, once said that we are not just fighting an epidemic, we are fighting an infodemic. So this is true. Along with the burden of the pandemic, we were experiencing this burden of infodemic also. So what is an infodemic? WHO explains infodemic as an excessive amount of information about a particular problem. So now we have the coronavirus problem. So this information some can be accurate and some can be fake or misleading or false information. And this excessive amount of information actually makes it difficult to identify a solution. When there is an overabundance of information, we do not know which is right and which is wrong. Most of the time we are not able to identify logically between right and wrong. And in this overabundance, along with the infodemic, it is spreading misinformation, disinformation, rumors, etc. So whenever there is a crisis at hand, there is always a tsunami of information that is being spread online. So these are the 3 components when we consider the infodemic. They are information, misinformation, and disinformation. Now let's look in detail what each of them are. So information refers to the accurate, to the best of our current knowledge, the facts or the information, the things that are best of our current knowledge. For instance, COVID-19 stands for coronavirus disease 2019, and it is caused by this SARS-CoV-2 virus. And that is a fact. It is proven this virus is causing the disease. And there is, this is a new pathogen. We were not familiar with this pathogen before. So since it is a new pathogen, the information about it changes over time as we learn more and more about it. and as through scientific experiments. And then there is misinformation. So misinformation is obviously false information, but more importantly, it is a false information that is not created with the intention of hurting others, but it is often started by someone who genuinely wants to understand the topic and care for others. They want other people to be safe and well, and they share the information with this intention. And other people who also share the same feeling, who also feel the same, share this information even further, and everyone believes that they are sharing good information, but unfortunately they are not. And depending on what is being shared by them, it can be harmful. The misinformation can be harmful. So here you can see a screenshot, two screenshots of misinformation. One is fake news where somebody is telling that they heard from a doctor. I mean, that doctor recovered from coronavirus disease, and because he inhaled steam, just as normally we would do with a bowl and a towel. So with that, he was able to recover from coronavirus. And there is a reason that is substantiated. Steaming raises the temperature of lungs, throat, and mouth, so that if the virus is already there, it gets inactivated due to the high temperature. And almost all this information comes with a footline that pass this information for the benefit of others. So this is a fake news. There is no scientific backing to it, but this is emotionally appealing to the audience, as well as the sender. They feel like they are caring for others, they are doing something good for others by sharing this information, but they are not, because these are not scientifically backed. And another person is telling like some of the symptoms. He is stating, if you have these symptoms, it is not the novel coronavirus, and this is also scientifically not bad. So these are misinformation, which is spread with the intention. The intention is good, but this information is not correct. And at the other end of the spectrum is the disinformation. So unlike misinformation, this is also false information, but this is created with the intention of profiting or causing harm to someone. And that harm could be to to a person or a group of people, an organization, or even a country. So disinformation is basically very dangerous, because there is some agenda behind it to monetize from that, or to cause harm from that to someone. So during this pandemic, we saw a lot of disinformation being spread in the name of governments, health authorities, public institutions, etc. Some of them are like false claims, such as drinking bleach or alcohol can cure the coronavirus infections. But on the contrary, it is proved that drinking bleach or pure alcohol can be very harmful. And then there were conspiracy theories. Many conspiracy theories were there, such as this coronavirus was an infection that was caused by world's elites for reducing the population growth. But there is scientific evidence, clear scientific evidence that it is not, and how it all started. Okay, so that is scientifically proven. And then one major conspiracy theory was around 5G installations and the spreading of virus, the relation between 5G installation and coronavirus. And later it was debunked. These conspiracy theories were debunked. So infectious diseases are not the only contagion. Behaviors are contagious. Misinformation is also contagious. A behavioral contagion is the tendency of people to repeat the behavior after others. People often do what others do. We try to imitate others. Sometimes we choose to imitate by wearing the same kind of clothes as our friends. And most of the time, we are not aware of the fact that we copy their behavior. So, but behavior is contagious, which is proven psychologically. And misinformation is also contagious. So imagine when a society where both these factors act. There is misinformation that is spread around you, and there is behavioral contagion is obviously inherent in humans. So when you believe this misinformation, and there is, you start acting according to the misinformation that you receive, and there are others who try to mimic you, and that will be a disaster to the society itself, right? Then there are three main motives for the spread of infodemic. They are monetary gain, that is, the people that are spreading the disinformation, they intend to get monetary gain. Maybe they want to exploit the current time of COVID-19 uncertainty with their own products, maybe fake products like cures or immunity boosters and all the herbal medicines and all. So they want to make more sales for their products. This is carried out for their own monetary gain. So these people might send false information, send fake emails in the name of credible institutions, and they'll contain links or attachments to be downloaded, and the result would be fatal. When the user is tricked and he or she clicks on the links and navigates to their site, it will be a fraudulent site probably, and it will be collecting the user's information, sensitive information like credentials or financial information, etc. And there are also many fake donation sites that have creeped up and asking for donations from user for supporting COVID-19 patients and all. So that is a malicious intention, malicious motive, that is for monetary gain. Then second is social and psychological reasons, and that I have mentioned previously also. The information that we share is a part of our identity. So we want, people are inherently good. We want to do good to others, and the most simple thing that we can do for that is sharing an information, a good information. So people share with an intention of doing good to others, caring for others, and people want to feel connected with other people in their community. So for that purpose, we share information. So those are the reasons for rapid sharing of information. Those are the social and psychological reasons. And then there is political gain. Different people have different political motives. So some people might spread misinformation for their own political gains, for getting an upper hand with their own political views. They might spread misinformation or disinformation. And when we think about our consumption of information or anything, there are two things in psychology. That is, one is confirmation bias and another is cognitive dissonance. So confirmation bias is actually our behavioral weakness. We all have biases. We all have inherent biases, how much ever educated we are. So confirmation bias is a behavioral weakness, which allows us more likely to acknowledge the information that confirms or fosters our prior beliefs than ones that contradict it. So we don't want to be wrong. We don't want to accept that we are wrong. So we have certain beliefs, and we mostly look out for information that fosters our beliefs, our convictions. So that is confirmation bias. And another thing is cognitive dissonance. That is, we are when there is a contradiction, we have our beliefs, and when we encounter a set of facts or truths that seems to be contradicting our beliefs, we tend to overcome the contradictions. We doubt that source, and then we keep on checking for other sources, and we keep on checking for information that will foster our beliefs. So when we encounter such an information, we feel a surge of relaxation because that contradiction is resolved. Okay. So when this confirmation bias and bias is coupled with this cognitive dissonance, people tend to believe conflicting evidence. One example is like, okay, suppose I have a belief A. A set of beliefs of A, and then I come across a set of truths B, and it seems to be contradicting with some of the beliefs A which I have. So what I will look for is, I'll start looking for facts that will foster my beliefs set A. And when there is a third source which I come across, that is C, and C seems to be criticizing B. Okay, in that case I feel relieved that, okay, my beliefs are not false, my beliefs are not not touched. So we feel a sense of relaxation in that. So that is cognitive dissonance. And in this Venn diagram you can see, our set of beliefs, and there are certain facts and evidence that that is proving some of our beliefs. But there is a major chunk where it is not, it is contradicting to our beliefs. So we tend to accept this intersection of evidence which is fostering our beliefs, and we tend to ignore the rest of the facts that is contradicting our beliefs. Okay, next let's see the global misinformation trends. And one major trend is that closed messaging groups in apps are spaces where misinformation and conspiracies are being shared. So when at the peak of, at the starting of this coronavirus, we encountered many forward messages in WhatsApp groups, in Facebook and all. And most of the time, these closed groups are, groups of close friends or relatives. These are the groups where the misinformation seems to be spreading a lot. This is an example of a misinformation, and it is shared in the name of Ministry of Health emergency notification to the public. Ministry of Health might not be knowing about such a release from their side, but see, the message goes around in their name, and it is telling, it is suggesting some a precaution, right? Like, do not let your throat dry up. Don't hold on your thirst. Once your membrane in your throat is dried, the virus will invade into your body within 10 minutes. So these things seems to be true, but it is not scientifically proven. So such messages roam around in closed groups. Another misinformation trend is altered or fake content. It is used as a highly effective target. And this is an example of an email, a fraudulent email, which has the original logo of a credible source, that is WHO. And this is urging the user to click on this button and download something, and most probably it will be malware or something like that. And this is a very cheap but very effective tactic to gain the trust of audience, using a credible logo. And the third trend is misinformation which is spread in the form of hate speech, memes against different sections, widening existing divisions such as race. So we saw in this corona time a lot of such hate speech and memes in social media. So hate speech actually, it is influencing the emotions of people, and very subtly it is, it can transfer misinformation. People will not be much logically checking what is shared. They are just emotionally in that, emotionally involved in that hate speech, but might not be logically, and it has a very great influence also. And memes are, that is a thing of today. But there is also a thin line where it is just a humor content, and it can also subtly pass this dividing messages to the public. Okay. And next content is the visual and video content are more influential and more difficult to monitor and track compared to text. Okay, I don't know how many of you are aware of this. This picture here is of a documentary which whose name is Plandemic. Okay, this documentary was circulating in social media for quite some time, and now it is removed because it promotes some conspiracy theories, so it is removed after a lot of fact checking. But the problem is, to find such misinformation in the form of visual and video content, it is more difficult compared to textual content. This featured a scientist. This lady is featured as a scientist, a very a great scientist of this time. Her name is Judy Mikovits, and this documentary was taken in an interview style, and she was giving some sinister motive behind this COVID-19 pandemic. There is more to it, there is more to it than we see in news and media. There is some sinister motive behind this, and she was also making comments, anti-vaccine comments and all. So, but this documentary was shot in a very professional and polished way, that it appeared, when you see, it appears very credible. And this was uploaded in Facebook, YouTube, Vimeo, and a website was also set up for the purpose of sharing this video. And now it is removed from social media after after fact checking and all. But it was able to roam around in social media for quite some time. And also in Facebook, a lot of conspiracy theory groups came into existence during this COVID-19, and in those groups, this content was widely shared. Again, conspiracy theories spilled into the mainstream during COVID-19 uncertainty. So we know these conspiracy theories are usually, these are fringe beliefs. These are not reported by mainstream media, but there are some people who believe in such theories. But this coronavirus is a time of uncertainty, and people are in fear and anxiety and looking for answers everywhere. So we saw that this conspiracy theory started getting into mainstream media to the point that in a Belgium newspaper had published an interview with a doctor. Okay. And the doctor, the headline of that article was, 5G is life-threatening and no one knows about it. In that, the doctor was claiming some scientifically baseless things, and the newspaper had published in its regional version in the print edition. The print edition it was published. So, but later it was removed from its website because it sparked a conspiracy. A conspiracy theory firestorm around 5G, and there were a lot of protests happening. And this doctor, actually, he didn't just claim that 5G was dangerous. He also said that it might be linked to coronavirus. And that's it. There were a lot of protests all over the world, and these telecom masts were set on fire. And the funny thing is, even in countries where 5G was not existing, there also protest was going in full swing. Okay, so these were a few categories of misinformation we encountered during the COVID-19 times. And at this point, we know most of the things are not true, but there was a time when we were in the lookout for information, and these sort of information were circulating in the social media like anything. Like Ayurveda and other herbal medicines can cure coronavirus, and only old people are affected by coronavirus. And taking hot bath can prevent, and eating garlic. And some people still believe in this traditional practices to curb coronavirus. These things. Garlic is an antimicrobial. It has got the good properties, but as such, it cannot cure or it cannot work against coronavirus is the fact, scientifically proven fact. Next, let's look at the type of information disorder. Okay, these are like the ways in which a content, an information can be altered. They are imposter content, fabricated content, false context, manipulated content. Imposter content refers to the impersonation of genuine sources. As we already saw in an email, some emails use the logos of credible sources like WHO or the UN organizations, and using that, they spread the misinformation or disinformation they want, or trick the users to navigate to particular sites and compromise their information, etc. Then comes the fabricated content. So fabricated content are mostly 100% false content. That are just spawned out of thin air. This is a text message saying that UK government has issued a payment of £458 to all the residents as part of its promise to battle COVID-19. And it is also urging the user to tap here a link and to apply for this amount. So when the user clicks on the link, most probably it will be directing to a fraud website where user data can be, there will be a form or something like that where user will be asked to enter the details, and the scammers easily get the user details for free. The next is false context. These happen mostly with video and image content. These will be factually accurate content that that was captured at some point of time at some context, but it is being shared now under a false context. And the image that you are seeing here was actually captured in Vietnam, and several years later it was spread in the guise that it was taken in the aftermath of Nepal earthquake in 2015. So this image is true, but it happened in some other context. Then it is taken again and spread in some other context. During coronavirus pandemic also, we saw many such false context content, like when the lockdown was declared, we saw many migrant laborers moving to their hometowns. So they had no means. I mean, they were they were walking towards their hometown. There was no social distancing, no precautions, nothing, no transportation facilities. So it was a very sad scene, right? So there were fake content circulating in the name of fake content, image content in the form of crowds that said that these are migrant laborers who are moving towards their home. But it was taken from some other context. So we know that such a thing happened. Migrant laborers were moving towards their hometown, but some news reported with the inaccurate image or video in a different context. And then there is manipulated content, or manipulate any content when it is slightly tweaked or distorted. A genuine content, when distorted, it can change the perspective. In this picture itself, how we saw it, we just saw that a gun was pointed to his head and they are trying to kill him. But what really happened is a gun was pointed, but another person was giving him water or something else, we don't know. And to an audience who want to, if you want to show that he is being saved, it is also possible with a slight crop of the image. Then the spread of misinformation and disinformation has a lot to do with social media impact. The impact of social media is undoubtful in its ability to spread false information through its platform. Why? Because the enormity of its reach. Anyone can communicate to an audience of millions and billions with content, with any content. It need not have fact checking and all. So that is the power of social media. And this is a statistic that shows the usage of social media in 2020 before July 8th. And as expected, Facebook tops the list, and followed by YouTube, WhatsApp, Instagram, and Twitter. So, because of this enormous spread of false information, Facebook has started this practice of enlisting international fact-checking network to look into the news that users have marked as deliberate fakes. We have an option to mark fake news. So that is being looked by Facebook in order to remove misinformation spread. And one advantage of social media that the scammers see is that they are getting a huge target audience for free, right? So that is a huge resource. Everybody wants traffic, right? And in social media like Facebook, they are getting it for free. And in social media, most of the time this happens. You come across a very catchy post title and thumbnail of a video or something, and you enthusiastically click on it. But later, when you read through that, you discover that it was less promising. It didn't had any relation with the headline. The content didn't had any relation with the headline, and you get annoyed because it was a wastage of time. But the title or the image was able to induce that curiosity in you to get your click, right? So this has become a growing trend, and creation of misleading titles is to pull the audience into the traffic hungry websites. And such headlines and such images are called clickbait. So these are mainly used as marketing or publicity stunt, but its main aim is to deceive the audience. And clickbaits most of the time, there are genuine sources also, but there, in case of scammers, this clickbait misrepresents the content intentionally, to sensationalize some particular subject. But the subject itself is not worthy of getting attention. So to sensationalize that, what they do is use sensationalist and dramatic wordings. You can see 3 examples here. A leading doctor reveals the number 1 worst carb you are eating. By seeing this itself, if you are, you get a curiosity. Okay, which is a carb that, you just want to know that information. But to know that, you obviously need to click through it and, read through the content. And then the money-making secret that banks don't want you to know. Okay, it induces a curiosity, right? And then these 12 impossible pet rescue stories will melt your heart. So these are examples of clickbait titles. And then there is a general trend, and examples include 7 facts about something you won't believe are true. Then 5 mistakes that entrepreneurs make every time they do something. This man hugged a lion, and you won't believe what happened next. So these are kind of templates that are used to create clickbait headlines. And even there are sites available to help you come up with such ideas. You should get clicks. That is the motto. So in a way, it is good to make article titles catchy, but sometimes there is a border, there is a thin line between getting substantial information and fraud. Sometimes it will be true. So there are 7 facts that we learn when we go through that article, but sometimes it will be fraud. It is not promising as the headline. The headline will be mostly unrelated to the content itself. Then comes the next section of the presentation, that is social engineering. So social engineering is also called as human hacking. Hackers and cyber scammers are taking advantage of this coronavirus pandemic by sending fraud emails and WhatsApp messages that we already saw, in an attempt to trick you into clicking on malicious links or opening attachments, right? So these actions are, actions sometimes can reveal your username and password. So it is, social engineering is also called human hacking because it is basically dealing with people. People are generally kind and they are supportive to help others. They are willing to help others. So this is being exploited in social engineering. It is in any security system, the weakest link in any security system or organization is the humans. So no matter how much money an organization invests in the in installing firewalls, intrusion prevention systems, or other cyber security systems, if the users are not educated in the basic principles of security, then it is all pointless. And it is always one of the biggest threat to an organization, that a likelihood of one of its employees compromising sensitive details to an intruder from outside the corporation. So in this social engineering, this style of hacking, the social engineer tricks the people to divulge sensitive information such as login credentials, credit card numbers, or their financial information, etc. So it is obviously a low-tech approach to a high-tech problem. The scammers do not need to invest much in getting the support of the people, right? So it is a very low budget, very low tech and low budget approach for getting high gains for the scammers. Some of the common objectives of social engineering attacks are to gain access to restricted data. So some data will be protected by security controls. So in order to gain access to such restricted data, they may use the social engineering tactics. And sometimes to get access to restricted areas. Sometimes in organizations, confidential information might be stored in some location which is highly protected. So to gain access to such areas. And then for monetary gain and profit, tricking people to click on some link and accessing their financial information. And then fourth one is identity theft. When the user fills out a form saying, okay, when the user gives their details, it is possible for the scammers to create a duplicate of the same person. They can steal the identity and they can carry out the attacks, or they can carry out their propaganda using the identity of this person. So primarily, this phishing is one of the major forms of social engineering attacks. It is one of the simplest types of cybercrime to be carried out by a hacker. That is, fabricated email is the main tool that is used in it. And in phishing, mostly the user is tricked into clicking on such links. As we saw in previous emails, some links or something to download, etc. So it can result in the disclosure of confidential details of the person. And phishing attacks mainly, this is an example of a phishing email that is sent in the form of sent masquerading as Costco wholesale. It is it says an delivery was cancelled since the specific address was not correct. So, and you are recommended to complete this form, and this form, clicking on the form navigates to another site, and the user information would be captured, and thus the scammers are getting the user information for free. And this is another example of a phishing site. It resembles PayPal, but if you look closely at the URL, you can see that the domain is not exactly PayPal. It is paypal.com.security.alert.confirmationmanagersecurity.com. So this is the main domain. Confirmationmanagersecurity.com is the main domain, and PayPal, this fabricated page was hosted in this domain. So once the user enters email address and click next and then enters the password, it is you transfer your PayPal credentials very easily to the scammers. So phishing actually ignites these emotions in the user. One of these emotions, at least, that is the success of phishing campaigns. 5 factors. It depends on 5 factors. It should induce excitement or anxiety or greed or trust or empathy. We saw some clickbaits before. Clickbaits induce excitement, and the subject line or content of the email is designed to create this excitement, so that the probability of hooking the trap is quite high. So when this is this is aligned to the context, say now COVID-19 pandemic is happening, or sometimes a sale that is happening for a limited time, etc., it yields the result. For example, this COVID-19 news across the world and updates about the lockdown are some of the things that people are mostly on the lookout for, and they want to know more information about the current scenario. So emails and other pieces of information around these topics naturally raise the curiosity of people, and there is excitement to know more among the people, right? So that is excitement. And then anxiety. Sometimes the content of the communication will be offensive and blackmailing, in the way that the hacker might say that he or she has the complete surfing history of the victim and some account information or financial information. So that induces anxiety. And sometimes we have seen people going behind greed factor. They might promise unbelievable amounts. You have won such and such lottery, and also some people might click on the link which they provide in order to claim the prize money and get scammed. And then it's a trust factor, that human beings, we inherently wish to trust each other. So humans have the practice of believing the views of peers or strangers without adequate assessment at times, and this instinct to trust is natural. So when a scammer is masquerading as someone in your peer group and sending you an email, so sometimes it can happen that you believe it. Since it is one of your peers or friends who is sending this, you might do as it is in the mail, because you believe that it is from your friend, so there is no need to cross check. And in the last thing, that is the empathy component, the perpetrators try to exploit the emotions of the victim. This mainly happens in asking for donations and all. So they come up with all the emotionally appealing content, and we are trying to help people and ask for donations and all. So there the empathy component is being worked out. So next section is about fighting the infodemic. So now each and every one of us has the responsibility of spreading both the virus as well as misinformation, right? So this was published by Google, and it explains the common types of COVID-19 scams around us. First one is stealing your personal data. It is asking for address, bank details, and all via mails or other links in social media. Then fake offers of goods and services. So this you come across massive discounts on things such as maybe essential things like masks or sanitizers, or then a subscription to online entertainment services from unknown third parties. And this COVID-19 pandemic saw a boom in online shopping, and subsequently there was there were many fake websites coming up, faking Amazon, Flipkart, and all. And these the screens appear very credible and just exactly as Flipkart or Amazon. But when you click and you purchase on things, the money is just gone, but things will not arrive. Then impersonation of authorities is also UN, WHO, and Ministry of Health, and government authorities of your country. All such authorities were impersonated by scammers in carrying out their disinformation agenda. Then fraud medical offers, test kits, cures, and all. Then fake requests for charitable donations. This is the site of WHO. WHO had created a platform of the Mythbusters. There were a lot of myths going around during the corona times, and it was categorized, and WHO has listed all the things, all the myth categories here. So when you click on that, any particular link, you can see the scientific evidence, what is right and what is wrong from here. If you see, it is actually our duty. If you see some misinformation being spread in your network or your social media or closed groups, we can just simply point out them to this site. It is our duty to educate people. They are also spreading unknowingly, so it will be good if you just nudge them towards such sources. And WHO had already has also launched a new information platform, which was called the Information Network for Epidemics. And it was its aim was to use a series of amplifiers to share tailored information to specific target groups, like local communities, like different departments like tourism. And also for that purpose, the Information Network of Epidemics was created by WHO. So one, in social media, what we can do is we can be a credible and trusted link. We should always strive to be a credible and trusted link in our social network, whether it be offline or online. Whatever information we are sharing, it should be scientifically backed up. It should be fact-checked. So make sure of this, and don't just blindly involve in sharing information just because of its emotional appeal. Okay, and now when you search in Google and all, only reliable sources of information is given priority in COVID-19 related searches. There is no other ads or blog content or offers or anything of that sort if you search for coronavirus related terms in Google. So this is the SOS warning of Google, which Google has created. Google has introduced this feature in 2017, and it is activated during crisis events when public safety is at risk. Its aim is to make emergency information more accessible and available during a crisis. So, Google brings together the relevant and authoritative content from web, social media, and in case of an epidemic, it is from the Ministry of Public Health or WHO or UN and all. And such information is displayed first. And depending on the nature of crisis and your location, you will see the updates from local, national, or international authorities. So, this is designed to help the searchers by providing an ad-free search results page. And if you are in, this was in, we saw this during the hurricane time also. And depending on your region, so here when I search for COVID, it is showing the statistics from India and health information from the mostly from India. And if you're, it works in this way. If you're outside a crisis area, you can still see this SOS alert. But the information that will be displayed will be different. You won't be displayed the emergency contacts and all, but instead might see some donation link for the crisis. And Facebook is also doing its part in dealing with misinformation. Facebook is partnering with International Fact Checking Network, which is a non-profit, which is a network of partners from across 14 countries. Around 21 partners are there. So these are non-partisan, credible sources of information that has networked together. And in Facebook, we have the option to report a post or content as false news. If we feel that it is a false news, just click on the three dots in the top right of the post, and you can see this page, and you can report it as false news. So once users report a false news or fake news, this fact-checking network checks it and takes the appropriate actions. This is an example from Twitter. This person has shared something that is misinformation, and Twitter has labeled it, and it is not showing as such, but it is giving the warning that some content in this tweet is conflicting with the guidance from public health experts regarding COVID-19. So it is intentionally hidden. And this we also that Donald Trump's posts were removed by Twitter, Facebook, and all. And sometimes it is removed. And in case of slight, if it is a misleading one, a warning is kept. So this was one such post by him. This was related to US elections. So for fighting the infodemic, one major behavior that we can adopt is practicing information hygiene. So watch out when you come across loud and sensational headlines, and then strongly emotionally colored words. Sometimes some articles shows 100% confidence in their statement, and they won't care to cite the sources also. So watch out for such information. Then excessive personal thoughts from the author. It will be written in a neutral way, but sometimes these people they express their own personal views in the form of credible news. Then copied story without indicating primary source. So these are something we should watch out for in the social media platforms. And some of the social hygiene practices, mainly two things which we can follow is don't overshare details on social media. Just always fact check when you come across content that is so tempting, and it seems to be helpful to others. Just do a fact check. A simple Google search would give you the credible information. Just a minute for that. Spend just a minute for that. Do the fact check, and then only share the information. Then enable the right protection and privacy settings. This has no direct relation with in Infodemic, but it will always help us to protect our personal information in the online space. And this graph shows a bird eye view of the information transfer, and it also is an eye opener for to know the power of each one of us in curbing the infodemic. So this person at this level of network didn't send a rumor to the group chat, and this person here double checked their facts, and this person got their news from trusted sources, and this person asked in return, how do you know that's true? So such behavior from each and every one of us has a great potential to curb the entire infodemic that happens in the online space. And there are many conspiracy theories, and one among that is the anti-vaccine anti-vaccine movement. This picture is about it's an anti-vaccine campaign. And there are many people in the world out there who are part of this, who does not believe in vaccines, and they don't want to harm anyone, but they believe that it is not taking vaccines is good, and this vaccine promotion is some kind of hoax, which the government and authorities are doing to harm their health. Some people believe that way, and they want others also to stay protected, so they spread this misinformation. So in case of people who spread misinformation like that, the one tactic is to just directly say that, okay, this is misinformation and this is the scientifically backed facts. So but that gives a message to them that you are wrong and I am right, and nobody is nobody agrees to just change like that. Nobody agrees to just accept that way, that I am wrong and you are right. So this news is actually a very good way of educating about a misinformation. Just let them know what the people who spread misinformation, just let them know what was the consequence. Now here, a major funder of the anti-vaccine movement has made millions selling natural health products. So who was the beneficiary here? So the funder of anti-vaccine movement had vested interest of selling his or her own products. They gained more sales and they gathered bank from that. So this is a very good way of reporting and educating about misinformation. And this is an article that came in The Atlantic. When your family spreads misinformation, it's a very interesting read. We all can relate with this. At a time of crisis, how the family group chats has evolved. Before COVID-19, the family groups and they spend and they send. They spread messages now and then. But after this coronavirus pandemic came, there were many family groups across the world which became so active with coronavirus cures and all sorts of misinformation. So this article is about such a scenario. It is a very interesting read, and the basic thing is that it is psychologically proven that people are quicker to share unverified information with those that are closest to them. So this is where such family groups and such close friends groups come in. So people are more, they don't think twice. Okay, this is to my family group or my close ones. So they just randomly share it, and they are more likely to believe the fake news when it is sent by friends or family. So these factors has turned family groups into some dangerous platforms for the spread of misinformation. And in times of crisis, people derive a sense of comfort from passing along this messages and information to their family members. As I said, people believe that they are doing good by spreading this information. So during such periods of high uncertainty, these group discussions give people the feeling that they have a sense of, they know what is going on, and they are together in they get that feeling. And that is one main motive behind spreading such information, which can include misinformation also. This it is also influenced by our shared culture. So when you are in a particular family group or a close friends group, there is a common connection between you all, right? It is a closed group. You share some common ideologies or common culture. And one such example is the broad acceptance of homeopathic remedies. Although it is not internationally accepted that it has remedies, but for example, in our Indian culture, we place emphasis. We have this feeling of we accept homeopathy, and there is some people have the feeling of this the allopathic, those are English medicines, they don't trust that much. So Ayurveda and homeopathy are much better. Sometimes people believe that is one example of a shared culture. And since we are not ready to, ready to accept the wrongs in our side, we spread misinformation. And sometimes the misinformation might be fostering these herbal medicines or homeopathic medicines, which is not accepted worldwide. Still we share the information across our closed groups. So this is a 5-step process which we can follow in the, this is kind of aligned to the COVID-19 protocol. That is, first, pause, mask, sanitize, cyber distance, and report. So pause is for what? Think before becoming an information broadcaster. Then mask. Do not trust all sources of information. All information that you receive as such. Do a fact checking. So sanitize. Validate the reliability of the information you receive by cross verification with credible sources of information. And then cyber distance. So always, once you realize that certain sources of information are not or are not propagating scientifically backed evidence, backed information or facts, just keep a distance from such sources in the future. It will be good for your health also. Then report. Do report fake or misleading information to authorities. Do not share the news if you are not sure about the credibility. So now almost all the social media platforms have the facility for the user to report on the fake news. So these are the 5 steps: pause, mask, sanitize, cyber distance, and report. So to conclude today's session, now I think you all know what the virtual virus of 2020 is. It was started as a byproduct of the COVID-19 virus, which started in towards the end of 2019, and this virtual virus actually started by 2020. And it is this information explosion or the infodemic. That is the virtual virus we are encountering now. So in the session, we talked about the infomania, or the constant hunger for information, the associated infodemic, that is an overabundance and the explosion of information that included the misinformation as well as disinformation, the role of social media, and the impact of social media in widely spreading this infodemic, then the social engineering tactics that scammers are using to capitalize on this infodemic, then certain tips to fight the infodemic at hand. And this is a book which I had co-authored a few months back during the lockdown period. The Infodemic, Infomania, Social Engineering, and the Pandemic, Break the Chain. So this is, if you are interested, this is available in Amazon in Kindle and paperback editions. Do check it out. That's all from my side. Thank you all. Thank you very much for your time. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Greeshma. So now we are open to the QA. So please respond. Please do comment, and we will respond to your queries. Yeah. So there is a question from Shibin. How can we stay safe from phishing mails?
Okay. Thank you, Shibin, for asking that. Phishing mails. To stay safe from phishing mails, we need to be aware. We need to think critically about. We need to have a critical evaluation about the mails that we receive. Check for the address. Whether it is a credible address. Where you expecting that email, first of all, from that source. It is a it is a main thing that you need to check. And then look out for phishing mails. Most probably will be poorly drafted. So look out for mistakes, spelling mistakes, grammar mistakes. Uh, credible sources usually do not do a checking, spell check and grammar check. They do not send poorly drafted message. So no, first of all, have a critical evaluation, critical look at the mail that you receive.
So I have a question. Like, how is this process of fact checking conducted by Facebook? Like with the help of IFCN, like you said.
Yes, IFCN is International Fact Checking Network, and Facebook is partnering with IFCN to combat this misinformation. IFCN, as I pointed out, people have the option to mark a post or content as fake news. So in that case, this IFCN consists of partners across the world. They are unbiased publishers of information. So they check these marked content, whether it is it is deliberate fake or not. They check that, and then they in case of deliberate fake, they mark a label for the content. Sometimes they mark a warning, as I showed for Twitter, warning or a label. And there will be when someone else tries to share that information, there will be this warning shown, and that this information is not completely true. This has misinformation. That information will be displayed when they try to share. And if it is completely false, that if it is a disinformation, then such information cannot be shared by others. And Facebook is also taking action against people who repeat, people or pages, profiles, or groups who repeat this publishing of fake news. They might ban their profiles or pages, and so that's what Facebook is doing.
Thank you.
Okay.
So, next question is you wrote a book on this subject. Do you have any plans to publish a Malayalam version of your book to help it reach more people in Kerala?
Yeah, thank you for asking that, Absakabi. Definitely, I'm looking forward to that. I'm thinking about that, but no concrete plans yet. But I will definitely look into it. Thank you.
One more question from my side. Is there any organization in India like associated with the IFCN so people
Yeah.
can rely for finding this fake news?
Yes, yes. In India, actually, there are some media sources like India Today, Alt News, then the Quint, which is very popular. New age media, the Quint. All these are partners of IFCN network.
Okay, thank you. So, like, I hope there are no
Okay.
more questions. So, thank you so much, Mrs. Grishma, and it was very insightful interaction, and we are really able to grasp useful information this evening. So, we are very obliged to your expertise and also to your valuable suggestions. So, on behalf of the Avast Kerala Meet, I extend my sincere thanks to you for being with us today. And thanks to all who tuned in. If there are any further queries, please reach out to Mrs. Krishma in our social media. So, yeah, our next meetup will be on next month. So, please keep on checking the announcements to know more, like the date and subject and all. So, see you all again. Stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Meera. Thank you, Ovas.